Hey guys, Nightfall here, and I know I just made one of these videos not too long ago, and the plan was to make at least once a month. But there was another significant patch to this game that just came out yesterday that caused the entire state of the game to change, as well as the state of the community, or rather their attitude. But before we talk about the hot topics, I would greatly appreciate if you could just tap on that subscribe button so you don't miss any XDefiant news that I post, and as always, it always helps the channel out. So the patch came out early Tuesday morning and was immediately hit with a lot of negative feedback. The issue stems from the weapon XP system, and while they did make a slight change to make it easier to level up your weapons so that you could get your attachments faster, they also did something that wasn't as cash money of them. With no warning at all, they changed the weapon mastery system from unlocking gold at level 100 to now unlocking gold at level 200. My conspiracy theory on this is they were testing the waters on this change and they didn't full send it. So let's go over what I mean by that and why I say that. For starters, they only changed the mastery page to show the new levels. On the skins page, it still says unlocks at level 100. This may have just been an oversight on their part, but let me continue. They didn't take away the skins that people already unlocked, which is kind of fishy and makes this slightly worse because imagine having a gun at level 98 or 99 and getting off the night before this patch came out and saying, nah, I'll finish it tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes and you load up the game only to find out that you're no longer 2 levels from gold. You're now 2 levels away from getting the bronze skin again. I would be absolutely livid, especially if it was on a gun that takes so long to level up, like secondary weapons, shotguns, snipers. And it's just a real mood killer, and I'm sure this alone caused a lot of people to log out instantly today and just say, the hell with it. And on top of all of that, it's not even like new camos were added, and to make it even worse, they tried to butter us up a few hours later by telling us Team Deathmatch was going to drop on Friday, which I'll cover in just a moment. Now, was this change needed? Probably. And I'm glad they did it sooner rather than later, because it was going to anger a lot of people regardless, but better to just rip the band-aid off now. However, I feel that they did it wrong from every possible angle. Now I'm going to list a few things that they could have done that would have made this transition a little better. They could have done any of these or all of them. Number 1, they could have let us know beforehand if the plan was to change it and let those who hit 100 already keep their gold skins, which they did. This would have allowed for those who wanted to grind out the last left of some weapons, at least have that opportunity. Suggestion number 2, give us an extra camo, like a diamond skin or something after gold that would have made basically resetting our ranks back to 0 worth it. Because as it stands right now, if you already have the gold skins, since they didn't take them away, there's no reason to grind from the level 116 that they probably put everybody's guns at that were maxed out all the way up to level 200. You don't get anything for it. Suggestion number 3, give us some weapon XP boosters and or double XP all week. There's a twofer, 2-in-1 right there. And my last suggestion, give us weapon challenges that would have given us some bulk XP towards these weapons to help us get back up to the max level. I could go on with a few more suggestions, but those are just the ones that I can think of right now. Any of these would have lessened the blowback and the outrage from the community, but there was no way you're going to please everyone. But it could have been handled a lot better. Really think they need a community manager if they don't already have one. So I mentioned it in passing before, and if you haven't heard the news already, Team Deathmatch is coming a lot sooner than we all thought, and it'll be live in-game Friday the 21st, probably around 9 AM, Eastern time that is, which conveniently is the day after my birthday, so maybe that was their way of telling me happy birthday. No, you're right, it probably wasn't. They don't know me, nor do they care. But this will hopefully give the weapon level grinders who don't want to play objective because it doesn't give you any weapon XP a place to do that and leave objective focused players to enjoy those game modes. In the midst of all the anger and uproar, they did manage to get one thing right. They put out another update to the netcode, which was much needed because last week's patch made everything worse. With this one though, after about a day of play, I can happily report that I truly only died around a wall a handful of times, most of which were sniper kills, so that could just be a latency issue on my end. The game actually feels playable now, and as we inch closer to the release of the ranked system, the only other change I'm really asking for is to allow ranked to have input-based matchmaking. There are still a few things that we need in the game, and I'll be going over a few of those in a short that I plan to post later after this video comes out, so be sure to check that out. But let's talk about the one thing that we still need in this game that everybody is begging for. Stop putting us into ongoing games that are more than halfway over that we have no chance in hell in winning. I don't mind joining into a game that started a couple minutes ago and the score is still within reason, but putting me into a game where I'm down 300 points with about 30 seconds left, what's the point of that? For those of you that care about stats, playing solo is tough because this happens more often than not, and we're cursed with a win rate at around 50 to 60% no matter how good we are because of the number of games like that we get put into. Meanwhile, you have 6 stacks that are on 80 something win streaks that actually play as a team like it's ranked. I guess us loners just need to make friends. Now, last time I made a state of the game video, the status we have here was green, but looking back it probably should have been in between green and yellow. However, they've made some solid improvements to the game, and even though the community is a little upset right now, they're upset at changes that don't really affect the playability of the game overall. So I'm gonna bump this one up to right in between green and blue. We still need some tweaks and patches to things like this bypass to the crouch spam penalty that I've mentioned in almost every video, and also changes to the weapon XP system, gameplay, so on and so forth. But at least we're taking steps in the right direction. And try to remember, it's still only preseason, and we're not even in season 1 yet. But let me know down in the comments if you agree with me, or let's have a friendly discussion about what you think the problems with the game really are. I'd love to hear your feedback on how the game feels now after the new patch, and where you think it should go next. But that's all for now, until next time.